especially in Lusanja, started early this year in February. You are a victim to the same, and
yes.
Unfortunately you lost your son to it.
Yes.
The viewers are interested to know that part of the story, because many times when you're covering this in the news, the victims never, get that opportunity to express themselves completely. So how did it all start? February 2019, just give us a brief explanation, what transpired to that day when you lost your son.
Before I lost my son, it was in the morning, it was coming to 5. In fact, it is this boy who even waked me up. He said, "Dad, you know what? I'm hearing something like alarm outside." That was the demolishing day. We were not even aware what is going to happen. So we heard when people are shouting, the village now, it's alarm everywhere. So we waked up to come out, it was full of police. Police tear gas everywhere, it is police. We are shocked. There were other people with the pangas, with the batons. So we just knew that now everything is over. And like when it's coming to 6, now the graders started entering. There were 3. They started entering. Now they said, if you can move anything you want to move from your house. To assure you, I moved the bike. And even this boy Msimenta, because he was the youngest.
Prior to that, are you given any notice of eviction?
Yes.
Okay.
So when I brought it outside to go back to pick Msimenta and to pick something, I didn't get his bike even outside. So I had to come and grab Msimenta, then I stayed with Msimenta. Then they told us that the only thing you can now save is save your life and you vacate this place. Now demolition is starting now. It was coming now to 10 in the morning. I couldn't see this boy. Now too much tear gas, shouting, bullets are flying over everything. They brought even this cars for spraying the tear gas. So I think this boy the tear gas
affected him.
Now he disappeared from it for almost 2 hours. I didn't know where this boy was. So we started looking for this boy. We didn't get anything from the house. I mean these sweaters you are seeing me. So from there, after someone told me that we have seen this the sugar cane plantation somewhere. That's where this boy we have seen him.
So finally you found him.
We got this boy.
All right. So fast forward, we unfortunately were evicted, and then the president. It was so big, the president had to visit you people.
To assure Madam, I thank Mr. President. Because if this president didn't come there, I don't know now where we could be. Because when this president came, he said, you people are going to first stay here as we are investigating. Then even we are going to give you posho, beans, and tents. That's how we have survived being there.
In the same parcel of land?
Yes. Now, it is February. It is after 2 months, then this boy started going to school. I went with this boy in the morning. Even that very morning, this boy told me that, you know what, Daddy, give me a helmet, because I was riding a bike. He said, for him, he likes to have a helmet. Whenever he sits on the bike, he said, Daddy, give me a helmet. He can't just sit without helmet. I said, it's okay, let me give you the what? The helmet. I gave him the helmet. We reached at school, he told me, you know what, Daddy?
Wow.
He told me,
sorry,
that Daddy, bye. Me, I'm going to class. I said, it's okay, Cimenta, you go and study. This boy went to class, I went. When I came to pick him lunchtime, he said, Daddy, let me first pick my jacket. This boy picked the jacket because he told me that he's not going to come back to that school. I said, Cimenta, why are you not coming back to the school? He said to me, Daddy, I will never come back to the school. I didn't know the reason why this boy is telling me like this. I said, it's okay, let's go home. Now, when we reached at home, this boy told me, you know what, Dad? You said you are not feeling okay, you first rest. I said, it's okay, let me first rest. This boy, this clever boy, he was fantastic. He showed me love. He was my happiness. I can't believe that I'm not with this boy, even now.
So when you got home from picking him up from school that day...
When you reached home, before we reached home, I bought for him. He said, no, Daddy, let's share. For him, he wants to share with me. Everything he wants to share with me. Everything he wants to be with me. This boy, he didn't like the mother. The time is with me. He said, Daddy, you get something. Let's share. We drink. I said, no, you first drink, me, I'm okay. I had no appetite. This boy said that if you are not drinking, I'm also not doing what? Drinking. So we had to share. Now from there, this boy called the other friend when I was sleeping. They went outside. To assure I didn't know that it is this golden boy that who was gone. They called me. I couldn't even get up. The people helped me to come and see. Then from there, I said, now, my life is not there.
Right.
Without this boy.
Okay, so Mr. George...
I want to go with this boy.
Wow, we are so sorry for what happened, and just maybe to put together and to join the dots for our viewers, you're saying that same day you took him to school in the morning, in the afternoon you went back to pick him up from school, then you went back home. You were not feeling well on that day, so you shared that small snack together with him. Then he told you, Daddy, please rest, you're not feeling well.
Yes.
So you put yourself to sleep at that point in time in the afternoon. Then he told you he's going out to play with the children.
Yes.
Okay, so at that point in time, the only thing that you remember is people waking you up screaming. So what exactly happened to your son? Now,
when I went outside, there was the pit latrine near our tent. They just told me that this boy is dead. I said, if this boy is dead, please, you just leave me, because I wanted also to go. Now they said, no, you first wait, is not dead. Now, to assure you, when I saw the slippers, because I had just bought those slippers for him, I saw the slippers on the top of the water. I knew this boy is gone, this boy is dead. Then from there, even I saw the one for his friend, they also top there.
So he drowned inside the pit latrine with a friend.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that this pit latrine pretty much didn't have a structure on top of it. It was an open pit latrine.
These structures, when they were demolishing the house, they removed everything. They started removing everything. They left everything open. Now, it is after that incident happened, that's when we started now covering
the pit latrines.
Yes.
Wow.
Then even my firstborn is called Musime, because we started searching for this. We went outside with him. When Musime saw his youngest brother, because now for him is 15. When he saw his youngest brother is dead, this guy just also took off. We got this boy at around in the morning, when it's coming to morning. We started also searching for him, but this boy also became, in fact, he was unconscious. Right. So he went near there is a church. He went to the church, he just slept outside. So it is When it's coming, when someone told us that the brother of that dead boy, you saw him sleeping in the church, near the church outside. So the whole night, this boy was also there. So I knew he is gone. Also, this boy is gone.
Wow, wow, and wow! What you can see on your screen is pretty much one of the latest stories that we did with regards to the same. Wow. We commiserate with you, sir. May his soul rest in eternal peace. Quite sad. Just to bring you on this one, Mr. Dennis, matters to do with land rights. A majority say that we become victims just because we don't understand our rights. The awareness gap is so huge. So coming from the Ministry of Lands, I think we can first start with you addressing Mr. George's case. How far has this, kind of land issue gone?
Well, I'll start by saying that this is one of the most difficult talk shows Minister of Lands actually is having, coming in contact with a victim of illegal land evictions. We actually, as a ministry, we also, send apologies and commensurate with you, really, it is not something that should have happened in this country. The problem of illegal land evictions in Wakiso specifically real is a very big problem and challenge. Lusanja is one of the most blown cases, but there are many. I have moved through Wakiso, all the 29 sub-counties, together with the Honorable MP, Honorable Seninde. It is really a very big challenge that we have to handle. But what if we are to see where we are coming from, how we have to help people, such things should never happen again. One, our perspective at the ministry, we realize that most of occupants who are on registered land actually do not have legal documentation.
Okay.
And that's the beginning point. If you do not have any paper that shows that you actually bought that land, it is known by government, it is registered, you have a certificate of occupancy, that is the beginning of the problems that we face. So when people go and buy, landowners with the money they have, they go and buy large chunks of land, it is when they go to carry out the searches, they find out that actually the search is saying that the land is 2 square miles and it has no encumbrances. That means there is no person, no tenant, no what, which in actual sense is not the truth. If you go on the ground, you'll find that there are many people on those parcels of land.
But who then carries out these searches? We thought it's a docket under the Ministry of Lands.
The searches are carried out by anyone who wants. It's a legal document in case you want to buy land, to confirm the ownership. A document is given showing the status and description of the land.
Given by who?
By the Minister of Land.
Thank you.
So our challenge has been, and this used to happen before, in the 1950s and 1960s, when there were tenants on land paying busuru, they used to be registered as encumbrances on those titles. So if anybody came to buy a Milo title and did a search, they would tell him that there are 300 tenants on that land, listed by name and the acres that they hold. As we moved, we it dropped off and stopped happening. We stopped recording the tenants. And I think it is in the law which said the tenants may, I think it was a very big mistake in the Land Act to say that tenants may. It should have been a shall, tenant shall, to actually compel them to register their encumbrances on these titles. So these are some of the things that we are realizing are gaps in the law that we need to rectify. But even as a ministry also, we're not just seated. We have resolved that we actually need to help tenants acquire certificates of occupancy. So
how far have you been able to pretty much, intervene in this particular matter? It seems by the day the victims are actually, crying every day. Unfortunately, you see, because this matter pretty much was not handled well enough. Mr. George here lost his son. You can imagine after the demolitions, particular trains being left open. So how far have you been able to intervene in this matter?
Now, as Minister of Lands, we have not been the ones who have intervened. You know, the matter is in court.
Correct.
And once it's in court, then we leave everything to the judiciary to handle to logical conclusion. If there are any actions that they direct us to do, we shall do them. But for now, investigations by police and the matter in court is going on. And I think they have done well. The investigation has been done well, and I'm sure that what court will pronounce itself on will be something that will help the tenants or those people who own the land try to secure some sort of documentation. I also note that actually courts themselves, sometime back, I think it was in January, they did pronounce themselves and asked government to come up with national land eviction guidelines. There are some things in best practice that must not be done, like whatever happened there, the time they evicted. I think they said they started very early in the morning.
Right.
You know, people were not given a chance to remove their property. The law provides that actually must give a notice for about 6 months before people can remove everything. Many things, you shouldn't be evicting in the rain season at night. Evictions in Wakiso incidentally take place at night. It is one district where I have really wondered why evictions take place.
But if this is the reality on the ground, what's the mandate of the Ministry of Lands to stop this? If it's happening day in, day out, and evictions you're saying are happening in the night, so what's the mandate of the ministry to stop this?
Evictions are actually supposed to be an eviction order can only come from courts of law, and it can only be issued for non-payment of busuru. There are other evictions that court issues, but they are supposed to guide how it should be done. So for us as a ministry, all we can do actually is probably sensitize, provide occupants and owners with their rights and obligations to know what they have to do. But when it comes to issuing orders for eviction, it is not the Minister of Lands.
Do you have the power to table, complaints with regards to evictions that are done illegally?
Yes, complaints again can be tabled but to courts of law.
Okay.
And I think it's the magistrate grade 1 or chief magistrate where these complaints should be handled. Incidentally, if we had sensitized these people and told them to seek some sort of redress from magistrate grade 1s, I think all this shouldn't have happened.
Wow.
But we are really sorry about what happened, and I know government is doing something to rectify this situation. The guidelines that I talked about is something that is going to help this country. We were supposed to have had these guidelines ready, I think they should be ready by 25th, according to the directive that was issued by courts. But we are still finalizing because we have to consult, we have to put in everything, we must consult stakeholders. We are hoping really by 31st of this month, we should have the national guidelines out and ready really for implementation.
All right. So if we have a group of tenants watching us today who are pretty much, living in a parcel of land that they don't rightfully own, or maybe partially they think they own it just by virtue of them living in the parcel of land for quite a number of years, what would you like to tell them?
In Wakiso specifically, because there are many landlords and many tenants, their relationship is not a harmonious one. That's why you hear of the pangas, they always talk of witchcraft, they are always annoyed and always want to hack whoever they see as landlord coming. The situation shouldn't be like that. It's supposed to be a harmonious one, where the landlord knows his tenants. He can open his boundaries and know this is where my piece of land passes and these are my tenants. My tenants must pay busuru. Wakiso, the busuru is between 5,000 and I think 20,000 per year paid to the landlords. Landlords are supposed to respect the rights of those bibanja owners that are seated on the land. Incidentally, the law protects those who have been on their bibanjas from 1983 and backwards. But if you bought from a bona fide occupant, then the law also protects you. Now, what we need to do is one, sensitize, create awareness on what they have to do, give them the land forms, give them the information on who their landlords are, and contact, so that they are able to contact and begin the process of negotiating their rightful stay on the piece of land. In the Awareness Week, we have moved with the Land Information System, which provides information on all land titles in Wakiso. So any tenant who is seated there and you don't know who your landlord is, you don't know the block and plot, come to these sensitizations. The information is given free of charge.
Okay. It
is the first step for you to start to look for your landlord and try to negotiate your proper stay on the land.
All right. Wow. Mr. George, would you say that these gaps that Mr. Obo has actually highlighted could have led to the current status?
Madam, before I say anything, I should first thank the State Minister for Land, because one day she was there with us, and to assure that village she was even attacked by the guys of that Mr. Choncho. But praise God that she was not, because there was police that protected her. So we thank her. We thank even Madam Seninde, because she has been there for us. She's the one even who brought Mr. President there. But I don't know where this guy gets all the powers, because even when Mr. President reached on the ground, he said, "You people, we are going to help you." This 17, he even said in front of Mr. President that eviction, which has been done here, it was illegal. So we thought maybe we are going to be helped very fast. But since then, there's nothing which has taken place. We are still there in tents. Madam, tent is something hot.
Right.
When it is hot. At night, it is very cold. Like now, me being here, I see as if I'm in London, because I'm a man of the tent.
Right.
They are suffering as we are not Ugandans. We don't know why we are like this, why we are suffering like this. Our children are dying. We don't know. Me, I worked for almost 10 years to buy that plot. I bought it at 8 million. I had 9 rooms there. Those 9 rooms, they were giving me 100,000 per month. Now I'm there, I'm jobless, I'm just there. I'm a casual worker. When someone calls me, you come and help me on the site, I go.
Do you have confidence in the justice system in the country?
Oh,
and so far, in terms of now the matter is in court, do you have confidence that someday justice will be served?
Sorry, to assure you, madam, when we came here in Twig Tower, they said that the court eviction, the court said that eviction was
illegal.
It was legal. We came even to Parliament. Even the same thing Parliament said these people should be compensated and they should go back to their land. Now, after this Mr. Choncho went to Court of Appeal, that's where we are now, in Nakawa. We don't know what is going to happen. Uganda, anything can change. We don't know. Because this court eviction, where it was to evict only 17 people. But at the end, it demolished 128 houses. So we don't know where this guy is getting the powers. Even we are asking police, you people you have studied. The court eviction is saying 70, but you are demolishing 127 houses. Wow. So now what should we do?
Mr. Obo, the matter is in court right now, but what voice do you have in all this?
Actually, I urge my brother to have trust in courts. It's important that all of us to get a decision in their support. That's very important, and we can only get it from court if we are to assist them. The law has provided for, I think the Land Amendment Act of 2010 has provided for restitution. So what we should be pushing is that at least the appeal come through and it's on their side. Once that is done, it will change everything. They will get their court will order may, well, I don't know, I'm not court, so I shouldn't be putting words in their mouth, but as long as we get a good judgment, then they will actually be compensated, and then we can come in to look at how we can actually now give them some legal documentation, and also sensitize them on what to do, where to go in case of challenges. This landlord-tenant phenomenon has not been a good one.
You know, Mr. Obo, he mentioned something quite critical, of course, as we wrap this up. A majority of viewers even watching us this morning would say, but I bought this parcel of land. Like he says, he bought that parcel of land. He even has, you said you have the title, it's yours.
I have the agreement.
The documentation, the agreement. So, and still he found himself in this particular, you know, kind of situation. So over and above just buying a piece of land and having an agreement, what else should a tenant have to know that they have a strong backing in the event that there's any, you know, disputes with regards to the same piece of land?
The tenants actually who have those agreements, they ought, the law has provided that they actually must buy with consent of their landlords.
Okay.
That's one. And if you don't, unfortunately, it says you have bought air.
But so if the agreement is written, ideally it's an agreement between the buyer and who?
And the seller of the chibanja.
Okay.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, of the chibanja. So he's supposed to take that agreement, look for the landowner, the registered owner, tell him that I'm your new occupant of this land. I am willing to pay you busuru. So all you have to do is tell me where to go, who to pay, and all I want from the landlord is a receipt to show that I have paid my annual nominal ground rent. That's all.
And there's consent as well.
Yes, as long as you have the receipt.
That is proof of consent. Yes,
it's enough. So the challenge we have seen is that most of them just stop at that level of the agreement and do not push further to look for the landowner, be registered in the landowner's register, pay him his annual nominal ground rate, which is between, of course, 5,000 and 20,000 per year, and then live harmoniously on your land.
Mr. George, are you doing that?
Mr. Obo, this is what happened. Our landlord, the one who sold that land to us, was the owner of that land. The son of Mr. Bitalaveho who died. So he's the one who sold this land to us. Now, after, I think that was 2014, then RDC of Kawempe came with this Mr. Bitalaveho. They said now we are handing over to a new landlord, who is Mr. Chonjo. So we knew things are going as we have been with this this old landlord. But now when Mr. Chonjo came in, that's when things changed. So it's not that we are not knowing the owner of the land or the landlord. It's the landlord who said, now this is your new landlord, who is Mr. Chonjo.
And indeed, that's how it's supposed to be. The old landlord is supposed to introduce the new landlord to the tenants.
Then if he followed the process, why? Or now it's like they said, it was an illegal eviction and it's in court, so that will be sorted out. So what you're saying is that the court is gonna sort this out, not sooner than later.
Courts must sort it out and give us answers and orders on what we have to do. But on the other side, it is important that we give these people the right information. That after they have introduced to you your landlord, you've known him, it is important that that sales agreement is registered as an encumbrance at the land office. If we had done that, if we had helped our people do that, then for sure I don't think this should have happened. Might be something small, but it's very, very important. Just registering it to show that actually you're recognized as the tenant of that land. So follow through the process to the end. True. All right, Mr. George, as we wrap this up, what are your last remarks, and also Mr. Obo after him? Mr. George.
Madam, I thank NTV, because you people have been with us since the beginning of demolishing. The cement is gone, you are there with us up to now. We thank you so much for everything, the assistance you have you have given us, even to show the country the situation we are going through.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Mr. Obo.
On our side, it's really unfortunate that we still have illegal land evictions. We can see the consequences of these evictions: death, landlessness, nowhere to go, violence, insecurity. As a ministry, we pledge to actually move, sensitize, and implement whatever guidelines that shall come up with. To my brother here, really the ministry, we do send apologies, and what I'll do, since information is power, we do have a book that I've done by the ministry, What the Law Says on Evictions. It has all the information that would empower a tenant in English and Luganda and other languages. If he had read this book, maybe he would have known what to do. So I want to use this opportunity to hand it over to him, as to have information that will empower you in the future, so that it doesn't happen again to you.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thank you so much. And this is Land Awareness Week. As we wrap this up, where can people find you, and where are you actually, moving? Which areas are you moving to pretty much sensitize the public?
We are moving through the various sub-counties of Wakiso district. Again, yesterday we were at the headquarters. We did interact with persons. We even moved to villages around Kasengeje Road. Many issues are coming up. The problems they face and challenges: illegal surveyors going to survey their land, people not knowing the procedures, they don't have the land forms, they don't know the fees to pay, they are being overcharged. So we are giving that information and leaving it again with the people. We shall move through Wakiso the whole of the week. And I urge the people out there, whoever has any problem, wants to check a title, it's being provided free of charge. The Commission on Land Registration has waived the fees, so it's free of charge to whoever comes to the centers.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. George Barihaihi. We continue to commiserate with you. I hope that you find strength and justice is served sooner than later. Mr. Dennis Obo, also spokesperson from the Ministry of Lands, thank you so much for making time.
Thank you too for inviting us.
You're welcome. That's it for the Kickstarter segment this morning on Morning at 10 TV. Don't move a muscle. Keep your views coming. We're seeing your comments on hashtag Morning at 10 TV, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. Keep them coming. Wow. We're taking a short commercial break. We'll be right back.
The Daily Monitor brings you the 14th Seeds of Gold Farm Clinic in Bunyoro Sub-Region, which will focus on piggery, bananas, cassava, maize,